Hey y'all, happy Thursday, happy Jupiter Day. Y'all know it's Thursday, so you already know what it is. It's Astro Thursday, formerly known as Success with the Stars. I've been giving IG some love lately, okay? Y'all know we're building on YouTube, so forever, just make sure y'all are subscribed to the YouTube. We have new things coming on the YouTube, so just look for Sharice Fierce or Success with the Stars on the YouTube. More interviews coming this month. This month, April, more interviews coming, as well as some really fun stuff. So, hey boo. Let me pull up our guest of honor as we are for being here as always. Good afternoon. I came in. I'm so used to doing this at night. I'm like, good night, everybody.
I be having them late night church services too, so I would have made the same mistake.
Yeah. Same. I'm like, I just came. I was like, okay, I have to restart this. I can't come in. I can't come out like that. Good night, everyone. That's so funny. All right, so y'all know we got the Pastor Borough in the building. So today, as y'all could see on the flyer, we're gonna be talking a lot about using astrology to brand. We're gonna be talking about specific houses that we use to brand. And for like our audience, we're gonna be talking about fame, popularity. Can we find our fame transits in the chart? Are there certain transits that unlock potential for us? And obviously we're gonna be talking about Bora's upcoming masterclass this Sunday, where he goes into so much more. All right, so Boro, talk quickly. Let's make sure everyone let us know if our voices are good. Let me even put on my headphones.
Mic check, 1, 2. How I'm sounding, family? Am I clear in this audio thing? Do y'all hear me well? All right.
You're clear. I hear you.
How I'm sounding? You sound good, Sharice. All right. Hopefully, just somebody could validate, confirm in the comments that we sound good. Okay, all good. We ready to roll. Hope everybody's vibrating well. Hope everybody's well, Sharice. I hope you are well. All right.
So before we even start, thank you for coming out. Thank you for putting us in the middle of your day, fitting us in here to give us this vibe. So before we even start, I always like to just start with a current vibe check. So like, what's the vibe check right now? What are the current transits today? What's the day looking like going into this weekend a little bit, just to give the people some guidance in real time?
All right, guys, you already know we coming off the full moon lunar eclipse peak in Libra. All right, so there's a lot of things being magnified with relationship activity because we ain't really in a relationship space. We're in a personal transformation space. So everybody needs to be aware about the things going on with your relationships. You may be picking up new things about your partners, co-workers, relationship activity of all sorts. So that's one. And with that being said, you guys that know how to follow the moon in your chart, you guys know where all the houses are at and all the signs in your chart is at. Y'all need to make sure y'all are watching what's happening right now from what's happening from your Libra house all the way up to your Aries house. These are the most significant areas of your life right now. So right now, the moon is in Scorpio. We need to be aware of what's going on in your Scorpio house. And with that being said, with the moon being in Scorpio, we got a double Mars influence going on. Sun in Aries, the masculine side of Mars, the sun projection, the masculine. Then we got the moon in Scorpio, the feminine side of Mars, right? Femininity, subconscious, all right? But they're both dealing with Mars energy. So in general, this is a very impulsive time. With me saying that this is a season dealing with personal transformation, this transit right here, things that happened more so towards the second half of the day yesterday, up into the whole day today, and up into the first half of the day tomorrow. This is a very critical period of Aries season right here because we're dealing with this double Mars influence. So a lot of things that may have been suppressed are going to want to be birthed around this time. And that's not just from you expressing something to your partner that you've been holding in. No, this could be a goal, a dream. This could be something dealing with creative aspiration, and for whatever type of insecurity, fear, maybe you deal with a situation where you've been projected on in your upbringing, in your environments, this is a time right now in this 2.5-day period where we could break some barriers with those things, because there's a double Mars influence, and Mars not going for that form of suppression here. The sun in Aries is helping birth the things that Scorpio usually keeps in the cave. Scorpio's usually just, because that's the difference between Aries and Mars and Scorpio energy. Aries is going to just push out. Scorpio is going to fuel it up. Scorpios is more of, got that Pluto influence, right? Aries got a Pluto influence too.
Plot.
Right, exactly. Scorpio's gonna get to the plotting. So right now, Scorpio could use, the moon in Scorpio could use Aries to birth these new things. So everybody, I want y'all to be highly aware of what's heavy on the heart, what's heavy on your subconscious right now, something that you feel like you need to release from a creation point of view. And we have a 4-planet stellium in Pisces right now. Mars, Venus, Neptune, and Saturn. So while the moon is in Scorpio, she's going to be harmonizing with all of those planets. So she's going to be helping us respond to things dealing with our passions and our creative awareness and our spiritual awareness. She's going to be passing Venus. So things looking at, love matters, our values and intimacy from a higher elevated spiritual sense. Things dealing with Neptune and Saturn. All right. Working with Saturn in general in Pisces is a continuing thing that we need to make sure we embrace, right? Utilizing spirituality, creative tools, healing as a tool in our life, not just looking at these things like magical concepts. No, these are tools. All right. And then, the moon finishing, once the moon gets towards the end of Scorpio, is going to start harmonizing with Neptune. And that's just going to be a space where we could deal with more compassion. There's going to be a space where we could be more forgiving, more open, feel more, it's going to be more of a comfortable space to communicate things from a transparent space that may have felt vulnerable before, but you're going to feel more open to be able to connect these things. All right, guys. So that's a lot of what we got going on. And I also, just to cap off the transits, I made a post yesterday about the signs and placements that are going through mating seasons around this time. All right. For a lot of you guys in the building, I may have some of y'all in the chat right now that were attending my previous masterclass. If you're in the chat right now and you attended,
what are the signs? What are the signs that are going through
signs? The mating season signs are the Venus and fire signs right now. Venus and fire signs, because the sun in Aries is helping y'all give birth to these influences. All right. Then we got water dominance, because we got Venus in water right now. All right. So all Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio dominance. And then we got Virgo suns and risings, because y'all got Venus hitting y'all from y'all 7th house where she's home at. All right. So you guys got to be very aware of what's going on relationship activity.
All right. Thank you for that. Thank you for the breakdown, y'all. If y'all enjoyed that, put some hearts in the chat, like the live, and we're going to get into it. So part of the reason why I really wanted to do this live is because I saw your 11th house, live that you did the other day, like planets through the 11th house and how we can use it to like brand and like just like what our audience may be like, or how we can now like put ourselves out there to attract our audience. And I found that to be so potent. First of all, it really spoke to me because I have like that Saturn in the 11th, and everything you were saying about that really much helped me. And I'm seeing a lot of people now using astrology to brand, to go out in their business, and it's something that I'm super passionate about, and I just want to have more people on here to talk about it. So today we are talking about astro branding, fame. For those of y'all who are just joining in, we're going to be pulling up some examples of like the rise of the recent women who are in hip hop and rap right now, and all the good stuff. So not before we start, as we're starting, can you tell me, where do we look in the chart to see what we may be known or famous for, right? Because maybe not everybody will be quote unquote famous, but in this day and age, like as we enter the Aquarian age, we're seeing that like it's not just like, oh, you need to be this big celebrity. You could be a celebrity in your hood. You can have your tribe. You can have your community. Like everybody can be their own star. And I just want you to show us, like, where do we even start? Where we look in the chart to see what we could possibly be known for?
Well, I'm glad you concluded that question with understanding that we all could be famous in different ways. Fame to me is really a complicated word when you look at it, because I teach one of the most primary things I'm trying to get people to understand is that we all have the ability to gain status and attention when it comes into some form of project building, branding, navigating career in some type of shape or form. So sometimes when we're either idolizing or we're paying too much attention to like the celebrity world, we may get caught up in their forms of fame. But you know, like you said, Sharice, we all have the capacity to build our own tribe. We all have the capacity to build community and some type of recognition for something that we're creating in our and building in our life. Literally everybody. So guys, be very careful when you guys are like studying these things and you may have an astrologer name a couple of placements and you're like, damn, I don't have any of these placements. That don't mean a damn thing. You hear me, church? That don't mean nothing. You could still expand attention on what you got going on. Now, when we looking at the 10th and 11th house, these houses are paramount. Okay. Guys, these houses are paramount when it comes into your ability to connect into the external realm. When you look at the first 6 houses in the zodiac, right? Your first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 6 houses. These houses are dealing with more of an introspect in life. If you look at the house that's in the middle of that, you know, bottom half of the chart, that's the 4th house, which is the most private house in the zodiac. Once we get into the 7th house and we travel to the 12th house, this whole top portion of your chart, this is all the external realm. As soon as we get into the 7th house, now you start to get to deal with relationship activity. And that's all a reflection of what you built through your first house retrospect. So look at the house that's in the middle. The midheaven, that's why we call it the midheaven. This is the peak. This is the highest point of the chart. So before we even get to know who you are personally, we kind of see that first. What do you do for a living? What's your social status? Right? Ladies, when y'all when your girlfriend come and tell you they dating a new guy, what's the first question you ask? What that brother do for a living? All right? What he do for a living? Okay, so for the most part, your 10th house social status and reputation will always shine bright in general, and it's always going to be something that's associated with your self-identity. So what I've been teaching recently is understanding how to tap into this house. All right. And then when we look at the 11th house is just an extension of the 10th house. So what you guys what type of formula you guys could apply into your lives, look at your 10th house. Now, if you have planets in the 10th house, off rip, these energies are associated with your reputation. If I get 10 people in your life, people you went to school with, people you worked with, people that know you from your neighborhood, they're all gonna, in some type of shape or form, mention these planets about you when it comes into your reputation and social status. So that means in the world, this is already an energy you have in your favor. All right. So you want to find ways to take these planets and be like, okay, y'all already associate these energies with my social status and my reputation. Let me be intentional pushing them out. And that's when you start getting into career opportunities. That's when you start realizing it's way more easier to brand and project build in your life because you're already utilizing energies that you have in your favor. Now, to get deeper into it, the rulers, y'all know I'm a ruler gang, house lord gang. All right. Why? Because they provide direction in the chart. They provide solutions and answers in the chart. A lot of you guys have callings, certain feelings and thoughts to do certain things. And you could go years not putting any energy into this calling that you have, and you're still going to have it. Why? Because you still have a ruler trying to give you a direction on how to expand a certain area of your life, whether it's in a creative sense, whether it's in a relationship-oriented sense, which we were just talking about in my previous relationship masterclass, whether it's a family-oriented sense. So when we look at the ruler of the 10th house, guys, that house is the meat and potatoes for your career right there. If you can find ways to take that area and brand it, if you can find ways to take that area and cultivate it within career, sprinkle it into career, because you're going to be known for that house. You're already known for that house already. People already attach that house to your social status. So this is when we get into fame. This is when we get into notoriety, recognition. This is when we get into expanding your brand and being able to put your brand and business into a space where it's easier for other people to support, easier for other people to want to sponsor, easier for other people wanting to connect to and see. All right. And then the 11th house is an extension of that house. All right. The 11th house is more so dealing with communities, groups, associations. So in the 10th house, that's where we're building that blueprint, right? That's when we're organizing and structuring the map out of how we're going to brand and push our energy out. And when we get into the 11th house, now we're getting into connecting it some more. Now we're getting into tribe. Now we're getting into throwing our ideologies, air house, air logic ideas. Now we're getting into throwing our ideologies out into the world and being able to relate to others that's into these things. Guys, if
Now
I'm building an
we
astrology,
monetize. Now we monetize.
now we monetized, all right? Now
Mm-hmm.
you have
Yeah.
clients. Now you have colleagues
Mm-hmm.
that you could collaborate with, 11th house associations, right? You guys sharing followers, you guys sharing associates. You see what's going on, guys? So, you know, when we talking about that 11th house, it's really important because I'm an astrologer. The people that is a part of my church, they're not here for hair. I need to get my hair. I'm finna get my hair done later tonight, y'all. Don't judge it, brother. All right, they not here for learning how to for fashion. Even though a brother can put it together, they're here for astrology because I've been intentional putting that space out there. So, guys, we have to be intentional about what space you're pushing out to the 11th house. So, people that's a part of that influence, people that are intrigued about the energy, can come and build your tribe there. So, all of this has to be intentional. A lot of you guys have been doing this subconsciously. A lot. Everything in our chart is subconscious. 75 to 85 to probably around 90% of an astrology reading is confirmation. I'm not telling you nothing new. I'm just confirming what you already been living through. Your reading with me didn't change anything. All it did is help confirm certain things that you might have been thinking about creating. All it did was bring clarity towards past influences and help you understand how to transcend what you're dealing with right now, guys. So if you're just spiritually in tune, there's some people that are manifesting way more than people that are into astrology because they're just spiritually in tune. They're just able to follow certain influences. They could hear the voice of God. Period. All right, but obviously we're ahead of the spiritual curve because we could use this tool to help us. And the same thing that I'm saying about the 10th house with planets in the house lord, you want to apply that to your 11th house too. If you got planets in the 11th house, just know these are energies that always naturally radiate when you're out in the world. People see this energy from you. So if you're intentional about connecting that out into the 11th house, this is where we can start attracting tribe.
So when you look at a chart, what are some of the first things? So I know you said 10th, 11, but let's say you're reading a chart. What are some of the things that let you know that, hey, this person actually has mad potential for popularity? Even though we see everyone, but what are some specifics that you're like, yeah, you should be doing this. You need to do something for public recognition because it's there.
That is it sounds like a simple question, Sharice,
But it's hard.
But it's a bit complex because it's just where I'm at. I understand everybody has the potential. You know, I understand everybody has the potential. Now, I ain't gonna lie. If I open up a chart and I see so much activity in a certain area, that already lets me know that you done brought a lot of past life influence in this energy, in that area, in that sign, and you're here to transcend it. So the more that you push that energy out, God is in your favor because that's part of your contract that you signed. Everybody need to understand that here. Y'all got 3 or more planets in a sign in a house. You are here to show application with that energy. All right. So that's why that house is always active. That's why if you have a stellium in air, you're always dealing with relationship activity. You always know a lot of people. You got a stellium in water. You always analyzing your subconscious, understanding how different life circumstances affect your subconscious and being able to read other people's subconscious. You got stellium in earth houses. You probably always studying things about the infrastructure of the world, the trends of economics, things dealing with your bag, helping other people with their bags, stocks, crypto. You trying to find a way to get to that thing. And if you got a stellium in fire, you so intrigued with things dealing with creative expression, artistic expression. You get so inspired when you know your favorite artists or whatnot drop new music. You want to get in the studio. You want to write poetry. You want to write a script. You want to start singing, right? You're trying to understand how to enhance your creative artistic expression. You don't even feel fulfilled when you're not dealing with some type of creative expression or just some expression of your awareness in general. So that will stick out to me. If I just see a lot of activity in the area, then I'm going to help you understand how to navigate that. Use these energies as a tool because you're experienced here. If I see a lot of activity in your 10th and 11th house, Lord have mercy. You already got energies in your favor as soon as you step out into the external realm. If I see you have a strong Saturn presence, Saturn dealing with realities, dealing with the infrastructure of the world, your presence, whether it's going to be through a spiritual resource, whether it's going to be through a creative resource, that brings stability to the world. And this is the motherfucking earth realm. We all are craving stability in some type of shape or form. So people will connect to your brand, your community in some type of way. if you got strong Saturn aspects, you know, in general. Those things are really popping out to me. And then because I understand, I've learned how to manipulate your sun sign, because I came to the understanding that, you know, you are here to be seen as your sun sign.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I'm a Libra Scorpio to be exact. So I'm supposed to understand things about dealing with relationship transformations. If I'm out here in the world and I'm not either expressing anything about it, I look like I don't have no awareness about these things in my relationship activity, whether you're into astrology or not, something about my frequency vibration is going to be off to you. It's going to be off to you. All right. So with all that being said, you know, Sharice, you're a Sag. You're a Sag. So if I interact with you, if the first time I went in your Instagram page and I ain't see nothing uplifting, I ain't see nothing inspirational, I ain't see nothing with you having an optimistic vibe, you always smiling, you trying to uplift the vibration of others, I'd be like, something is off with her without me even knowing your sign. All right. So if you're able to understand the power of your sun sign, which you're here to be seen, and you become intentional about pushing that out, I'm gonna be the example of this air sign, I'm gonna be the example of this water sign, this earth sign, this fire sign. You in alignment, that can bring attention, sun, attention, light, awareness, because you are being the exact example of what you're supposed to be, and take that into consideration into the house that you have the sun in, because you're already gaining a bunch of awareness in this house. There's always something catching your attention in this house. You signed a contract to make sure you're always active in this house. You're always expressive and taking action in this house. So if you're exemplifying things of that house in some type of shape or form, we're going to pay attention to you.
So I'm interested to know, since you're talking, you bring up personal examples, how do you use your like 10th, 11th house and other placements to manifest your tribe? Maybe you did it unconsciously before, but now that you've like studied this more and everything, can you see some of the correlations?
Okay, no problem. So okay, so I'll start with my 10th house. I'm a Scorpio midheaven. I have a stellium in my 10th house. So off rip, that's already showing me this is gonna be an active ass area in my life in this lifetime. I lose sleep because of this house. All right. I lose sleep because of this house. Okay. I need to have a better work rest balance like a mug because of this house.
10-4.
All right. 10-4. All right. The opposite houses are going to affect each other. They're on the same axis. So for one, I already know, especially having as intense energies as I have in this house, I have Scorpio here. That's already a Mars influence. It's already intense. I could already hold in a lot of passion of what I want to do in this house. That could start to overwhelm me if I don't pace and regulate that passion in a certain way in this area. But then I got the rulers in that house. I have Mars, Pluto, and Mercury in a tight conjunction in that house. So for one, Mercury, I'm supposed to be communicating, relating things of a Scorpio-like influence, the occult, spirituality, the subconscious transformation, hidden truths, hidden ideologies with spirituality, but it got Mars and Pluto right next to it. So I'm supposed to be communicating these things to help people evoke transformation in their life, evoke rebirths in their life. I know with this placement, my 10th house is always going to be transforming. I was doing a lot of things before I got into astrology. I was doing music. I was doing comedy. I was teaching about health and wellness. Then my heart settled here. And I know in the next 5 years, that's going to continue to transcend. So I already understand that aspect too. But, you know, with me, is a little different because I have the ruler in this house. I was speaking about this in my live stream last night. This is something I'm going to be talking about in the master class as well. We're going to talk a lot about rulers. But when you have the ruler in the house, it don't matter what house it is. If you have a ruler of a house in that house, you have already mastered. There's some type of mastery you have from a past life in this area. Okay. I just posted on Instagram, you know, a thread on understanding how to follow your first house lord to make your personality shine bright. So you'll see examples, first house lord in this house, that house, this house. But when it comes to my 10th house, if I have my ruler in that area, I don't need to go to another area to make something pop in career. I need to be the biggest thing is being intentional, concentrated, and consistent. All right. And that sounds like, yes, it is somewhat of a power and a gift, but you could be very wishy-washy in that sense because you could feel like you could do so many different things here. All right. So, and I was in that space doing a lot of different things before I got to where I'm at now. But hey, you got to explore and experience, right? Everything is for a reason. So I'll use that for an example. So that's like my 10th house energies. Okay. And then moving on to my 11th house, I have Sagittarius there, which is actually the same as my second house ruler, right? I got Pisces in my second house. Why is the second house significant? Because that house is already dealing with your talents. That house is already dealing with your skill set, things that you're good at, things that you value. This is a house when I'm working with artists and creators. This is one of the main houses that I need them to understand. The second, fifth, and 12th house, which I believe are three of the most creatively inclined houses in the zodiac. So y'all need to make sure you looking at the rulers for all my creatives in the building. Y'all looking at the rulers of this house. Put some of that area in your music. If you film, do you want to be a director, producer, or something? Sprinkle some of that influence in your shit. You feel
You're talking
me?
about the
But
11th, right?
well, yeah, I'm connected. I'm just using
Okay.
I'm connecting the second toward with my 11 just because they share the
Okay.
same ruler. But just not to be all over the place. When I look at my 11th house, I have Jupiter there. Jupiter's the ruler of my 11th house. Jupiter's in my 9th, where my sun is at. What did I just say about the sun? You could create a lot of status and attention just pushing your sun out. So if I just use my sun to teach the things I have experience with, to teach the things that I'm naturally intrigued about learning, spirituality, astrology, higher learning, right? Then that could bring expansion into my life and bring expansion to my 11th house and bring me closer to my church members that I'm cultivating right now. Bring me closer to people that's as intrigued to learn about spirituality, these different type of spiritual concepts, ideologies in general, astrology. Okay, so those rulers for the 10th and 11th house is big. And you know, that sun sign alone, man, that sun sign is not to be slept on.
I know you brought up creatives, and I really like that I really like that you went that direction, because I like my first house lord is in the 5th, so, and in Leo. So I'm just all about the creatives. Like my whole life purpose, like I'm just trying to empower creatives in general. I love creativity. As soon as I see someone doing something unique, like, I'm just like, oh my God, I love you. I love you. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed.
Right, you get inspired. Right.
Yes, exactly. I get inspired. I'm like, oh my God. I don't care what it is, as long as you're like dedicated to your art and I can see your heart in that shit. I'm just like, I'm fucking obsessed with you already. So I love that you bring up creatives, because I like helping creatives, and I like using astrology to brand. So how would you help, like for the artists on the live and everything? How would you advise them to use astrology to like brand themselves, or gauge their audience, or like make their audience obsessed with them in a small way? If you get the question, kind of like how could they use their natal chart to like now use their persona, public image, all of that, marketing, everything?
Yep. Okay, so for my creatives, like I briefly mentioned before, you need to understand the influence of your second, your 5th, and your 12th house. These houses, I've seen these houses work wonders
Tell
for
us
people.
why.
Second house is dealing with what you naturally value, is dealing with your natural talents, your natural skill set, your natural creative essence. All right, is the I value house. So what do you value within yourself? You pushing out this house is already going to show a high form of self-esteem. That's going to evoke high self-esteem in others. That's going to help others already understand that they need to use their own talents in some type of shape or form. All right, so the second house is big there. Then we got the 5th house. If you're an artist, if you're a creative, you need to understand this house. All right, this is the house that teaches you how to own the stage. So if you understand your 5th house, now you'll probably understand what type of influences to play around with the cover art for your album. Now you'll understand what type of influences to throw in your music videos. All right, because this is whatever influences you have going on with your 5th house, aka the sign, the planets in this house, and where the ruler is at. These are things you can naturally gain attention for. This is kind of relating back to the concept with your sun sign. All right, this is the house that the sun is in. So some of us are introverted and extroverted. Some of us are highly expressive and charismatic. Some of us is a little bit shy, but we all have a 5th house. So we're all supposed to be putting something on the stage. We're all supposed to be dealing with some form of expression in our life in general. Okay, so when you look at that house as a creative, from a creative perspective, you need to see what's going on with the house. Let's say you got the 5th house lord in the 6th house. I'd make a Kanye West workout plan video. That type of song, that type of video is gonna go crazy. You got girls in the background running on the treadmill. You got all type of workout shit going on. You teaching about you sprinkling a little bit of you having a clip of you drinking the green juice or whatnot. You feel me in the video? Like these is like family. This shit sound cliche, but these is small spiritual hacks that will really enhance your creative presentation, guys. So understanding like your fifth house presence is huge if you're a creative. All right.
Before you move on to the 12th, as you're saying that, like fifth house and the sixth, I think about all of those trainers who just like, they're known more for their personality than for the actual workout. They're like, push it, bitch. and as soon as you said that, I'm like, yes, like they're known. The big part of working out with them is their personality and how they're like how they're like the jokes that they say or whatever they're saying. You feel like, okay, I want to work out with them. They could be doing the regular ass exercise, but now you're like, yes, I want to. They're like, yes, bitch, put it in, squat, show those abs. And it's like, yes, I want to. It's fun to work out. So you onto something with that. I like that.
Keyword, Sharice, is fun. This is the fun house. This is the fun house, right? So yeah, man, make your art fun. Make your art find ways to just expand the light and awareness you can gain with your art working with that fifth house. That one is huge. All right. And then you got the 12th house. And Pisces and 12th house energies, Capricorn, Aquarius placements, dominance, Saturn dominance already have a grasp on the external realm when it comes into influence. I'm starting to understand that Pisces in the 12th house may have to be tied into that with my previous studies of certain celebrities from past celebrity transitioned individuals that had a lot of notoriety into some current modern stars of today. And it makes all the sense because, first of all these three houses are in their own space. They all connect with each other, right? They're in that three. Really houses and signs run in three segments because you got cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable, cardinal, fixed, mutable. So, you got the 10th house, your blueprint, social status, 11th house, the extension of the 10th house, how you connect the blueprint. And then 12th house is more so dealing with the aftermath of things, the aftermath, and it's like the alpha and the omega. When you're dealing with the 12th house, you're looking at how to birth things from a creative perspective, right? It's tapping you into fantasy, it's tapping you into understanding how to work with the astral realm and bring your imagination down into reality. And then in the 12th house, we're naturally dealing with your imagination, creative and spiritual awareness. Okay, we're dealing with humanitarianism here. We're dealing with understanding the subconscious of others. It's huge influences dealing with connection in the 12th house. So, if you're a creative, and we're dealing with your 12th house in some type of shape or form, you need to understand what's going on there. Whatever sign, whatever planets you have in the 12th house, you dream a lot about these influences, literally. You dream a lot about them. You imagine heavy on them a lot of the times. These are energies that's going to be connected to your belief systems, so you can help other people with their belief systems through your creative endeavors, through your humanitarian acts, through your influences dealing with community. You could build a lot of community here because a lot of people are going to feel you when you deal with that 12th house. A lot of people are going to feel like you're connecting to them. The 11th house, you're connecting with people, but it's more of a Saturn purpose in the 11th house. We're connecting because we could exchange resources. We could build stability together. We could grow a business. There's even a business aspect to a church. All right. Church got to bring some funds in. All right.
Church is a business.
It's a business. But when you get into the 12th house, it's more of an intimate space here now. All right. How many of y'all left a comment in one of y'all favorite artists' music videos or post and said, yo, I'm one of your biggest fans. You don't know what this album helped me through. That's a 12th house connection. Huh?
So your album is therapy, is my therapy. That's one I see all the time. And that's true.
That's a 12th house connection, Sharice. You don't know this person on a personal level, but on a conscious collective level, they threw a frequency vibration out there from a creative effort or from a spiritual effort, right? And it made you feel understood. It gave you some knowledge. It made you feel related to. All right. So those are important houses to deal with as a creative. Those are I mean, dynamic houses to deal with. Like you got to find ways to explore those houses within your creative endeavors.
Mm. I love that. When you're saying about the 12th house as well, and that you added it into based on your studies too, I'm seeing like 12th house dominance as well can very much be tapped into the the collective unconscious in a way, like to that, like they have, 12th house Pisces, you're in two worlds at the same time. You're in a whole other realm and you're in this realm at the same time. And I feel like a lot of Pisces placements, they're great channelers because they're literally channeling. They're connected to the collective unconscious. And sometimes you end up just like channeling what the collective needs at that specific moment.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. A lot of I mean, we have made that's on point, Sharice. We may have some Pisces dominance natives, 12th house dominance in the chat, especially if you got like Jupiter, Neptune, Venus, Sun, Moon in these houses. You guys are very sensitive to the vibration of the world. You're very sensitive. You guys can't even be having certain things on your timeline. You guys can barely go through your explore page because you can't just you can't deal with just seeing random things pop up on y'all shit because y'all so sensitive to the external realm. So if you're dealing with a belief system, if you're dealing with some form of teaching, if you're dealing with some form of creativity, you're subconsciously channeling in what you feel like the world needs within your art, within your teachings. And that's why this house is very powerful. All right. Y'all just seen the Michael Jackson MLK breakdown I did. I was like, yo, who's the two most famous people of all time? All right. And they both came up to our head. Everybody know MLK and Michael Jack. All right. My mom is an immigrant from Nigeria. She know who MLK and Michael Jackson is. She know Thriller. So with that being said, I look at their placements, they both Pisces moons, Pisces dominance. And I'm like, damn, that says something though. That influence on dealing with giving what you feel like the collective needs, whether it's through activism or whether it's through your creative efforts.
Because Pisces and the 12th house is just such a creative space in general. Someone said, can you repeat the houses? He said second, fifth, and 11th when it comes to creativity for the creatives, and the 10th and the 11th as well when it comes to branding and business. Everybody knows Thriller, absolutely. I was literally having a conversation I think like within the past 2 days about Michael Jackson's so big that he has almost like transcended race in a way, and it has nothing to do with his skin color. Is that sometimes you talk to people, not like other people, non-colored people or Indian people or just anybody, and like if you would say like who's the biggest black artist of all time, they would not say Michael Jackson. They would not, because they don't even see him as like a black artist. Like he is so big. He like, and now you're saying that is like, yeah, he is definitely like transcended race, culture, all of that, and just so collective, just brought the masses together like crazy. Crazy.
Y'all know sometimes I'll be in my ignorant comedic bag, and Sharice, as soon as you said it's not about skin color, like I started laughing a little bit because in my head I heard my goofy ass say in my head, like, come on, the nigga was white and black at the same time.
At the same time.
But not everything he's saying is facts. Like he appealed to everybody. MLK had white people in the heart, in the heart of this of things dealing with segregation and whatnot. Had white people at the memorial at the same place with black people, acting like what was going on in reality wasn't going on. For that moment, racism did not exist that day. In the I Have a Dream speech, it didn't exist that day. That is power. That's influence. All right, so shout out to my Pisces dominance. Y'all ain't nothing to play around with, man. I'm gonna need to start looking at them Pisces placements when I start doing career reading. Shit.
So let's get into a little bit the girlies that's been eating up rap lately. So I know we chose just for this live Gen Z only, right? So don't come for us. We know the girlies are still eating, Cardi's still eating, Nicki's still eating. We just choose some Gen Z girls to really show the rise lately and to show the energies as well that they're coming with, and see how it can like see if there's any correlation with the current times. So Yeah, let's talk the rap girlies. Are like, have you noticed any common astrological factors between the girlies that are coming up right now, whether it be placement, whether it be overall energy, whether it be, I don't know, 10th house placements, whatever it is. Let me know if you're seeing any common factors when it comes to the recent rise of these ladies in rap.
So, what age are we in right now, guys? We're in the age of Aquarius. We're in the age of Aquarius, and I wouldn't necessarily say this is a rise of women in rap, because we've got past that. Women have stamped themselves back in the 90s, like, we here, we could rap with y'all niggas, like, we're here. We had all the way from our MC Lights to our Eves, and now we're dealing with, from our little Kims, and now we have this new generation. But one thing that I'm seeing in this age right now, with it being the age of Aquarius, there's really more of a stronger, influence dealing with liberation of feminine energy. And, a lot of these female rappers are really channeling that. They're really channeling that. So as a man, we could say whatever we want to say about how we feel like the influences are positive and negative, but we're just talking about energy right now. We're just talking about simple energy for what it is. All right, it's the age of Aquarius. Now, when we look at artists like Ice Spice, Sexy Red, Glorilla, they're all going to have this thing in common. They all have strong Saturn presence in their chart. They all have a strong Saturn presence in their chart. What have we been saying about Saturn already? Saturn is dealing with the infrastructure of this world. Saturn, if you have strong Saturn placements, in general, you could have more of a presence in the external realm. And we all can, but sometimes certain things may be in your favor that you could kind of get to things a little bit quicker, right? So, I'm a Capricorn moon. So things dealing with the subconscious and healing or whatnot, I need to get with a Cancer moon or another water dominant to help me deal with my water energy. So it's just, we all have certain things that help us get to certain different spiritual tools to do things a little bit quicker, right? That comes from our spiritual travels and the things that we've accumulated through them travels. But when we're looking at these artists, okay, Ice Spice, she's a Sun and Mercury in Capricorn, Saturn presence, and she has Saturn in Taurus. So her Sun and Mercury are harmonizing with Saturn. So anything that she is building from a blueprint perspective that she wants to work on and structure on, she's going to know how to execute it precisely. Then Mercury right there by her Sun, this is already an influence that is heavy dealing with music and artists. A lot of your favorite artists got Gemini placements. They got Virgo placements. Y'all be knowing it. They got strong Mercury. They got Mercury hitting a lot of different things. So they have so much to communicate, different flows to channel and pull on. So, Mercury is an influence to look at with artists in general, but you got Ice Spice from that perspective, Saturn. Then you got Glorilla. Then you got Glorilla. Aquarius moon. She's an Aquarius moon. All right? And her South Node is in Aquarius. Her South Node is in Aquarius. So she's finna express herself. How she's finna look at the song that she went viral with. Look at her first single hit. Does that look like traditional? Is anything traditional about that song? About the theme of the song? You know how much women looked at that video and felt liberated to express themselves in a certain way? It didn't have
Which
to
song
be.
are you talking about?
What's the word that she was spelling out? It was the ratchet video. All of them wilding out in the
In the
Somebody put
car?
the name of the song Gorillas first. I be tapped out a little bit when it comes to modern music
Okay.
sometimes, but her hit song is hella ratchet. It's ratchet as hell. She got FNF. Thank you, FNF.
Fuck nigga free.
Fuck nigga free. Yes.
Okay. Because I just wanted to see which first song you were talking about. But okay, good.
Nothing screams liberation. Look at the name of the song.
And those Aquarius placements, Aquarius moons, man, I fucking love them. Like, for me, they're fame, like they're destined for fame one way or another. But Aquarius moons, they're so good at unifying people over like fuck nigger free. Any girl in any culture
It don't
can relate.
Western world, Northern America, it don't matter.
We all know what that means. Oh, go ahead.
That's
So Glorilla,
facts though,
yeah.
Sharice. That Aquarius moon, it don't get more individual and original and independent and I'm a free thinker. I don't do
Yeah.
attachments, don't put labels on me.
Yeah.
It don't get more all of that than that with Aquarius placement in general, let alone the moon. So Gorilla, she's an Aquarius moon, all right. South Node in Aquarius. And then who else? Who else we have on the list? Sexy Red. Sexy Red. All right. She's an Aries, a Sun in Aries, Mars in Aries. We could have stopped right there. We could have stopped right there. That's individuality. She pushes that out. Aries color is red. Her name is red. Aries Mars deals with promiscuity. Her name literally is her sun placement. But what else is in the conjunction with her sun and her Mars? Saturn. So she's able to build stability, projecting this energy out. All right. The Saturn presence
in Aries.
Yeah, she got Saturn in Aries. You know, so that's a strong influence. The artist Mona Leo, is that how you pronounce her name?
Yeah, that's my girl.
She's a moon in Taurus, but she got Saturn when she was born. Saturn was 0 degrees Gemini. That's the Taurus Gemini cusp. So she got the moon pretty much in the same sign as Saturn. So once again, Taurus, your values, it comes out the second house. So Taurus energy is already dealing with creative efforts. It's already dealing with your value. It's already dealing with your self-esteem. That's her moon. She's able to build stability off of that. So this Saturn presence with these women in the age of Aquarius, it's showing that they could rise to the forefront in what they do because they're being examples of liberation. Once again, this is a frequency vibration. It don't matter what you think. It don't matter if you feel like they're being used. Like, take all of our personal opinions and outlooks on what's going on, whether the industry is using them, whether they're being a negative influence on the youth, whether they're empowering ladies. Take all of that influence out. Look at the energy for what it is. It's the age of Aquarius. This is the age of being free. This is the age of being independent with your ideologies. This is the age of alternative, different form of relationship activity. All right, there's positive and negatives to all of this, but they're able to be people that stick out because they already have these influences in favor. And what do they all have in common besides Saturn? All of those artists I just named all have Uranus and Neptune in Aquarius. They're all part of the Uranus and Neptune and Aquarius generation. So their Neptune, their beliefs, and their creative essence, and Neptune is a feminine energy, is going to have a huge pull on the external realm, Aquarius. And then Uranus, all right? Uranus, your individuality. You know, Uranus is not, you ain't putting no label, no motherfucking title. You ain't judging Uranus. You ain't putting, you ain't putting Uranus in a box. Good luck with that. That's like trying to give your dog a bath. So for the most part, they all embody that. They're all sharing those generational alignments with those things. So that's a lot of how they're able to rise and being put in position, being put in the positions that they're in.
I think all of them as well have Pluto and Sag. And although that's the generation as well, a generational planet, now that you're saying that they all have those Aquarius alignments, I'm just seeing that probably for some of them too, it's sextiling. And though like Sag and Aquarius energy just screams freedom to me. It just screams freedom.
Oh, big
to
time.
me. Yeah.
Big time,
Absolutely.
Sharice.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I now that you mentioned that, I'm like, okay, I could totally see that. Like they're big on the freedom. They're big on, like you said, just liberation, not being tied down, Sag Aquarius. And they're also they're also fiery. I feel like the new, I don't know, I no, every woman I feel like in rap ends up having some sort of like Martian or fire energy. But they definitely take it to another level. So something that you said that I about Ice Spice, you said Mercury and Sun in Cap, and then her Saturn in Taurus. And I feel like what a lot of us love about Ice Spice is that she is truly like about her bag. That's one thing I like about her. It's like she is about her money. I always say this. I said this like in a previous live. when she got flew out to go with Drake and whatnot, and nothing happened, she had my respect right there. I was like, she bought her bag. She's about her money. She's like,
Her
I'm not about
branding.
to. Her branding is so on point, right? Her branding is so on point, and again, I can see the Saturn influence because sometimes Saturn makes it so the underdog rises and gets some sort of representation. Now, does Ice Spice represent all of us, or you know, the quote unquote regular Black girl? Most likely not, but it's about the culture. It's just
Mm-hmm.
about the culture that's being pushed right now, and she's part of that. And you know, other audiences can relate to her and stuff like that. But definitely see the Capricorn, definitely see the Earth influence with Ice Spice. Definitely see it in her music, the getting to the bag, everything like that. I can see that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
you said sexy red. Sexy red branding for me is like, wow, it couldn't be more astrology wise, like branded from the name. Like you were saying earlier, certain people, they just naturally get those influences and they just live it out. And Aries placements, I definitely see that with Aries, Aquarius. Whether or not these people are tapped into astrology, those energies, like they just get aligned with it for some reason. Like they just express that shit without even tapping into astrology. And I feel like Sexy Red, her name, the color, Mars is exalted in fucking Aries. Like, can you get more on point? Like, can you get more point with the brand? It's like she's a blood. You know, like seriously, can you get more like Mars and Aries, and she's a blood? Like, it's so astrology is so fucking real.
It like, do we got to make it? Do we got to give y'all the simple examples? Do we got to give y'all the advanced concepts? How, what do y'all want?
Mm-hmm.
Like the validity is right there.
Mm-hmm.
And like I'm telling y'all, to work with y'all sun placement alone, her people to understand, when you understand what we talking about right now, the fact that she named herself Sexy Red and she wears red, that is such a spiritual hack for her
Mm-hmm.
presentation. That is such a spiritual hack for her presentation. Things would have been way different if her name, if she was Pretty Blue and she was a Crip. I promise you. If her name was Pretty Blue and she was a Crip, it wouldn't hit as hard as Sexy Red wearing red. I promise you. I
Mm-hmm.
promise you. When this is what we're talking about, learning how to hack your energies,
Mm-hmm.
right? Learning how to understand, like, okay, the world favors me when I push this out. I'm supposed to be an example of this. Okay, boom. Sexy Red didn't need an astrologer for all of that. She just followed her natural alignments, her natural energies, just radiated that. Like, yeah, Sexy Red. That's it. That's me. Literally, yes, you are Sexy Red. Your sun is conjunct Mars and Aries. Your moon is conjunct Pluto, the two most promiscuous planets.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. That's why I was breaking down in my live when I was briefly looking at Ice Spice and Sexy Red chart. I mentioned, I'm like, okay, you see Ice Spice, she's a Scorpio moon, so she has that sense of seduction, of course, but it's a bit more calm, especially because her sun is in Capricorn. Capricorns have more of a sober expression and
Mm-hmm.
aura. Sexy Red, not only is she a sun in Aries, sun exalted in Aries, Mars conjuncted, Mars home in Aries, Aries itself expressive, is dealing with sexual urges with that Mars influence. But then her moon is conjunct Pluto, which is also dealing with them, intense, passionate influences. So that's why when you look at them two from a seductive sexual aura presentation type of energy, this is why Sexy Red is a little bit more overboard. This is why it looked like Ice Spice. She a little bit, like, I would say, like, sophisticated, a little bit more calm. She'll twerk a
And
little
the
bit for
moon, the Scorpio moon.
you.
We'd be
Feel
like,
me?
we don't need to do too much.
They
No,
they don't even
I
like
know
that
what you mean.
attention like that. Not
Yeah,
Sexy
she's
Red.
not that
Hell
shy.
no. Hell no. I'm gonna put it out there intensely.
Yeah, come to the, I don't know, was it the Grammys? I don't know what it was, but with the stack, like, yeah, for sure. All
Mm-hmm.
right. Any transit that we can look for, and maybe you can give us the girls as an example, but anything like that, any transit that we can look for that like will cause some kind of configurations in our chart that could help like propel us, or propel our popularity or whatever.
For all my creatives and you know, people that own businesses, especially if you're working with the internet, social media, whatnot, you always want to kind of, I'll give you some transits one to drop things as far as drop a sale,
Nice.
drop a new song, drop a new project. You got a post that you really feel like got a lot of potential to go viral or get a lot of, you know, views. If you could wait till the moon passes your 10th house, if you could wait till the moon passes your 10th and 11th house, those are great times right there. From a business perspective, the moon in the 10th and 11th house would be great for business and anything dealing with something you want to be seen, right? Something you really want to be seen. The moon passing your sun is really good too, if it's something you want to gain attention. Now, if you're just like, let's say you got a sale, that obviously that's something you want to get something to get seen too. But like, say you want to run a sale for a business, you're dropping a new product for your brand. You know, ladies, you got your nice natural product brand. You know, this body butter finna go crazy. You've been working on these ingredients for months now, right? Them dark spots is going away and everything, right? So you like, all right, I got the perfect reel, perfect TikTok for it. If you could wait till the moon passes through an earth house, the second house, the sixth house, especially the 10th and 11th house, you wait, don't rush it. Wait till that transit, okay? Whenever the sun is in the element of your sun. So right now, fire signs, I mean, Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo dominance. Like the more expression y'all could be, the more of an expressive vibe y'all could be in during Aries season, especially if eclipse season, especially solar eclipse season, y'all could open up so many new portals right now to gain new eyes in what y'all got going on. All right. When the sun is in your first house, is your solar return period. Your birthday season is always huge for gaining attention. All right. Your birthday season is always huge for gaining attention. Okay. The moon being in the same element as your sun is big too. Like, you know, so Aries moons. Right now, the moon is in Scorpio. I mean, Aries, the sun we're in a fire season. Excuse me, guys. We're in a fire season and the moon is in Scorpio right now. What's the next sign the moon is entering going into the weekend? Sagittarius. So, you know, that would be a great period right now for fire signs, dropping business, dropping music, dropping sales, making reels, making TikToks, whatever it is. All right. Those is great placements right there. And when the ruler comes back to your earth house or the 10th and 11th house. So if you're a Gemini, midheaven, and Mercury is about to enter Gemini, right? It is actually going to enter Gemini in a few though. Like right now, Mercury's in Aries, going to go to retrograde period. It's going to pass Taurus, going to be into Gemini, and you're working on a project right now. You already need more time. It's like, yeah, I need at least another month on this project. If you could drop that shit in some time while Mercury's in Gemini, while it's in your 10th house, while it returns home, whenever you get the rulers come back, you're having a rulership return in the earth house, a business house, or the 10th, 11th house, or your solar return, your lunar returns. These are huge periods for anything dealing with, you know, evoking, birthing, or creating more connection or attention with things dealing with creative matters and business matters.
That. What about degrees? Do you work with degrees as well? Like degrees of the 10th house, degrees of the 11th house, degrees of our midheaven? Like what degrees do you work with?
So from a degree perspective, when it comes to me, when I work with degrees, I like seeing the maturity of degrees. And when I say maturity, do you have a planet or a house starting at a very early degree? So to me, that would be a very somewhat inexperienced but eager to create, express, and push out type of energy. So I would say there needs to be a sense of urgency here. Then when I see a more of an experienced degree, a planet or house starting like, you know, anywhere from like anywhere in the 20s to 28 and 29 degrees. Now I know you got mad experience in this house or with that planet. So when I'm looking at people's birth charts, I know a lot of y'all subscribe to like the degree theory. A lot of my astrology colleagues, they're giving game on the degree theory. That's not really my strong suit. I like looking at, you know, once again, the maturity of degrees. I like looking at deacons. Okay, so understanding, all you guys have to understand the deacon your sun sign is in. All right, so Sharice, what degree is your sun sign?
9.
So Charisse is in the early decan of Sagittarius. She's in the Jupiter decan of Sagittarius. So that one is, it's here to jump into everything as a teenager. You could say that's like a teenager, preteen going in like to age 11, 13. Is you still you everything to you is vivid still with Sagittarius energy. You're still very excited with things that we're exploring and inspiration and new forms of philosophies and spirituality. These things keep you very high, and you give a very excited feel to other people when it comes into these things. And this is already an exciting, optimistic sign in general. All right. Sometimes, because it's closer to being a younger degree, you may have to pace yourself a little bit. Like, all right, enough. There's a lot of adventuring and exploring going on this season. Let me just reflect a little bit now. You feel me? This and the third. But for the most part, not only do you have that young, vibrant energy, you give that all to others. And that is a great thing. That's why it's not negative when you're looking at inexperienced or experience, because there could be a lot of people that tap into Charisse's page or pay attention to Charisse, and their sense of inspiration a little dead. Their inspiration is their sense of optimism and adventurous like vibes and creative vibes and understanding philosophy and having the right form of beliefs and affirmations to help you give life to things dealing with creative energy in your life. She's the one that you tap into, and you like, damn, I haven't even realized I've been a little bit dull in this area. You get around the 28, 29, 25 degree Sagittarius, oh, they're going to have gems for you. They're going to have gems for you that could change how you look at things with creativity. It might not have that exciting charge towards it, though. It might not just uplift you right away. That young degree, it's going to uplift you right away. You're going to catch that. So if that is a good analogy to help y'all understand just the frequency towards it, all right? So that's what I like to look at with degrees. So if I see a certain person with more of experienced planets in their chart, or a certain planet, one planet, and is more experienced, then I need them to understand the power, the wisdom that they have with this energy, because they may, depending on their environment or what aspects, maybe they got squares and oppositions to this experienced planet. That's more of a challenge, and that's more of a karmic influence for you to understand, to impose your experience with that energy. You may be in a relationship. And there's something you're experienced with and your partner not. But based on the dynamic of the relationship, you feel like you stepping on your partner's toes, trying to teach them something, trying to help them with something. It's like, no, teach them that. They're grateful to even be able to connect with you, being experienced with that energy you experienced with. So I help people understand how to find confirmation, working with the things that they have power with, understanding like, damn, you're right. I don't know why every time I do push this energy out, people say like, I'm an old soul, or like, damn, how you have that knowledge? And I'll be like, I don't fucking know. All right, yeah. You got this from your past life.
I love that.
That's how I look at degrees and, all of that good stuff.
Do you, before we move on, do you use it, for example, how you're talking about the moon, do you use it like for certain people when they want to post, do you advise degrees as well? So for example, like posting when the moon is at 29 or 28 degree, or when the sun is at these like peak degrees, like of Leo, etc.
So like you talking about like in correlation to like when you were asking me about posting things in those certain transits. Okay, so guys, Aries, I'm gonna use Aries for example right now. Aries, your birthday may be next week. You may be, I don't know what degree the sun in Aries is in right now, but let's say your birthday may be next week. Let's say you're a 20 degree Aries sun. It's your birthday right now. When the sun gets into that constellation, when that planet comes into that sign, it lights the whole constellation up. It's not just that degree. It's not like when the sun got into 1-2 degrees of Aries, 29 and 28 degrees, didn't know. It lights the whole shit up. So you guys don't have to be that precise when it comes into like, okay, I'm gonna wait till they get to this degree. As soon as that mug get up in there, it's game time. All right, so that's for everybody to keep in mind when it comes into their returns. Your birthday, your birthday is from day one to all 30 days is your birthday. All right, it lights up the whole constellation. It's just that when the sun gets to the degree of your birthday, that's the peak. That's the peak of your birthday. All right. But is your birthday after the sun pat after the day of your birthday? That whole time is for you. All right. So that's how I would look at that.
All right. Back.
Yes, you are.
We are going to go into our little Q&A. So I've been posting a couple messages telling y'all to put the questions in the question box. So that's how we're going to pull them up, because as you guys can see, we lose the comments. Like, we're not going to scroll all the way back till the beginning of the live to see the comments. So if you have any questions for Boro, put it in the Q&A. I'm going to pull up a couple questions before we end. But I'm going to ask you, Boro, since we just to round off the whole branding thing, if you were to use my chart, so 10th house Cap, midheaven and Cap, and Aquarius 11th house, how would you advise me to branding, or what are my people looking towards me for? I know you know a little bit my chart, so feel free to go off. But
well, first, I already know, because you got Capricorn, or like, not that I already know, but just looking at that, I'd be like, okay, they got Capricorn and Aquarius in their 10th, 11th house. They already have a strong presence in the external realm. They could do a lot of things dealing with management, project building, bringing stability to groups of environments that they're a part of. They make other people feel like they could take their talents or their potential and gain stability through it. They could help other people get stable in some type of shape or form. But then I need to see where Saturn's at. What house you got Saturn in, Charisse?
Placidus 11th.
So anything that Charisse pushes out, as far as her being the resource, Saturn deals with resource, but if the 11th house is dealing with associates, communities, and groups. So the fact that she got the 10th house and you got Saturn, so she got Saturn in the house that is ruled by Saturn. So she already has mastery in a past life dealing with communities, groups, getting other people of the right talent, or being able to know what type of team members would work together well, know how to get people on the same page for a common cause, know how to be the plug. She really know how to be the plug. If you connect to Charisse, she'll find you the resource to do a bunch of different things and understand which one is suitable for you. So anytime she brands that in the 10th house, hey guys, connect to my brand, connect to my products, connect to my service, or connect to me so I can help you understand what product, service, or brand you need to be connecting to. She will always shine bright. She will always shine bright in the 10th, 11th house, especially with that. If she sprinkles in that influence of letting people know, if you connect to me, you can gain more stability in your life. Even if she wasn't even that experienced doing that, that energy is just in her favor. It's in her favor. She's gonna have a natural intuition for those things. All right. I've been working for Charisse for a minute now, and I can tell y'all right now, there's validation in all of that. That is definitely what she is naturally inclined to do, and she does it effortlessly, y'all. So it's just, once again, working with your 10th, 11th house Lord, and Charisse, you need to keep on working your magic.
I appreciate you. I think a better question would have been like, am I on brand?
Oh, you are though. You are though. You feel me? The fact that you gotta understand, Charisse. Okay, I'll give you an example right now. You got, once again, when you got the ruler in the house that it rules, it shows mastery here. Charisse, you know what's one thing that when I go on your page and I see posts from you that I see you do a lot? You help encourage other people to use this resource of dealing with expressing themselves, helping other people to understand the significance of the age we live in and the resources we have, and how they need to overcome any type of fears, overthinking, to utilize these things and see what they could explore and create in their life. That is your 11th house past life inclination right there. You intuitively pick up that, like, yo, hold on. Because remember, the 11th house deals with trends in the world, Charisse. The 11th house knows how to study how certain trends have manifested over time. So your inclination having, especially with it being Saturn, is not a regular planet, it's Saturn here, understanding the infrastructure and trends that manifest over time, also seeing what's about to happen too. So the fact that you are encouraging people to use the internet and social media and these different resources as tools in their life, that's already showing you have the intuition of understanding how powerful these tools are. There was a point in your life, whether you had an insecurity, whether you had a fear of using it yourself, you was like, I'm sorry, I got to get over that fear because I can't neglect how much I understand how powerful this tool is, how much the world is trending. This is only the beginning of things dealing with. Till this day, people is asking questions about the internet and things ending. This is a baby. The internet is still a baby.
Yo.
You think Facebook, Google going anywhere? Are you crazy? You think YouTube going? These things are in baby stages still. So you got to get in where you fit in. And Sharice, on the intuition level, she's manifested so many experiences in her past life, understanding how to navigate society, how to navigate, understand how relationships make the world go round. So now that she incarnated, reincarnated into this time, it's too easy for her to pick up any type of resources or tools that are prevalent in society in general. So that's something I see you do clearly, easily with that placement.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Something you said that I absolutely, by the way, I like how you just like summed me up really well. Like, thank you for you be tapped into my content then. Good to know. Good to know.
Come on, Sharice, stop. Why are you playing with me up here, Sharice? Come on.
I know you're busy. I know you be doing your thing. You got your readings. You're doing your thing. But for sure, you hit the nail on it where you said I probably had to go through some transformation to be on here, and you so really right. It's Scorpio moon, Scorpio stellium. I did not want to put myself out there for shit. I was scared as fuck to do a live. I was like, this is gonna be so cringe. But same, like just studying where the world is going, the future of all of this. Like you said, Instagram, Facebook is a baby. Like Instagram came out in 2010. 2010. That Instagram is not even a teenager, and in the terms of a company, that's still a young company. Like 2010 is still a young company. It's only after a company has passed 10 years in a market are we now able to say, okay, this is where we're at. This is real. This is longevity. Like companies don't even really rate themselves before 10-year period. So we're now at 14 years in, and that's why now like Meta is upgrading now because he passed that original 10 years, right? So now they're doing all of these things, and I'm like, if we can come into this space and see it's been 10 years, 14 years, and this shit is already changed the way we interact with society. Imagine 20 years later, right? Just look at ChatGPT. Pluto went into Aquarius. ChatGPT came onto the game. In 1 year, ChatGPT has like in a couple months only, it has changed everything, right? So y'all are gonna tell me that that's not gonna continue to disrupt the future. So part of me was like, okay, you gotta, no matter how you're scared, like you don't want to put yourself out there, you have to just like gain more confidence, fight the fear, and do it, because I do very much believe that we're gonna have like digital identities, and we're gonna have a whole thing like new society, but online. I definitely believe that's coming 100%. So
let me tell y'all something really quick about Sharice. Really quick, guys. I have been like, I'm no stranger to the internet. Before I even got to teaching astrology and branding spirituality, you know, like I said, I've done a number of things on the internet. You know, I'm always teaching people how to use the internet, encouraging people to use the internet. I've literally took social media marketing classes, all of that, courses. I've invested my money to understand how to use this shit. A lot of y'all know Sharice is like the brains behind all these different courses and classes we've been pushing out lately. You know, she's been helping me so much on the back end. And guys, every time me and Sharice meet up, she's doing some whole other new shit with some. I'm like, since when Canva do that? Since when this do that? Like I'm like, you can connect IG to YouTube when you go live. Like, I'm like, you making me feel like I'm the old one, not knowing how the internet work and whatnot. So like, this is what you do, Sharice. This is really what you do. I just be having to continually pass confirmation your way. You feel me? But
I appreciate
man, this bitch ain't going nowhere. The internet is not going nowhere.
Me, I always say I follow the money. I follow the money trail. And if companies and corporations are putting like Canva just started too. They weren't a big deal. Canva's just like rebranded. Now they're doing crazy shit. You can edit videos. And I'm like, if they just put like, I don't know how much millions of dollars into making their platform better, is because they see a future for it. If
Mm-hmm.
people are putting money and creating infrastructures for things like crypto and blah blah blah, is because they see a future for it. If you just follow the money, like where the government's putting money, where corporations putting money, you already know what's coming in the future, because nobody's putting $1 billion into investing $1 billion into something they don't think is going to give them a return. And that's how, like, when I see social media and stuff like TikTok, all of these things, I'm like, look at the money. If they're putting money into it, they believe in it. So shit, I'm gonna believe in it too.
Facts. I'm a believer like a mug too.
But I appreciate you, Bora. Okay, let me get into some of these Q&As. Let's get into these Q&As. Before I pull up the question, though, let's just tell the people about the masterclass that you're doing this Sunday, Easter Sunday. Pastor Bora is coming towards y'all. This is a New Year masterclass. We're so excited for this masterclass. If y'all even like this live, the masterclass goes 10 times deeper into your even the placement that you need to look at. This slide was pretty general, but the masterclass goes deeper. So, Bora, just give the people, let the people know what the masterclass is about before we get into the Q&A.
Yeah, guys, listen, man. We're in eclipse season. It's Aries season, personal transformation season, personal identity season. By the time we get to the solar eclipse and on the 8th, we're gonna be whole new beings. All right. So this class is specifically sculpted for everybody to understand how to identify talents, gifts, creative awareness, right, and purpose in the birth chart. So we're going to be covering a number of aspects, a number of placements, a lot of different things I've been hovering on these past couple of weeks, and that me and Sharice just been speaking on. We're going to have interactive segments. All right, we're going to have Q&As. I want y'all to one of the most important parts of the masterclass, in my opinion, is helping y'all understand how, yes, you have a talent and a gift here, but this is some karma. This is how to identify karma or obstacle that gets in the way of you even tapping into this gift in the first place. All right? Because I could tell you about your gifts and talents all day, every day, but I could empower you more, understanding why you've had resistance trying to use this, why you've had struggles trying to use this power in the first place. All right? So I just want everybody to feel empowered coming into the new year. We're in the astrological new year. I want everybody to just feel empowered, knowing who they are, getting close to knowing who they are, getting close to understanding what power gifts you have, and how to really transcend these things with no fear. With no fear, all right? If that's the last thing that I can accomplish with this class, is making y'all feel more confident and courageous into using the things that you have, and now you understand how to identify them on yourself. So no more of feeling called to do something, overthinking something. Should I do something? No, you know that energy's in your favor now. You know the reason why you've even been feeling called and thinking and feeling on this thing, because it's something you're supposed to be doing, but you got to find ways of navigating potential forms of obstacles and resistance, or some of us came through certain family, home environments, lineages, traditions in general, our neighborhood, that might have been the projection that keeps us away from using our powers and gifts. So guys, the Chart Your Destiny Master Class, we dive in deep into all of that, families. 3 days left. Y'all been filling up them seats, okay? Make sure y'all grab them seats before time is up. And, I got some people in the chat that might have attended the last master class, so you know how thorough these things are, these courses are. You know how much work goes into them, how much detail goes into them, because these are not classes that I'm making, me and Sharice are putting together for you guys to just, this is not like a regular live stream that you just jump in, jump out. No, you're going to be studying this. You're going to be able to come back to this master class for years to come, continuously be able to dissect that, pass it on to your children, pass it on to a friend. You feel me? I mean, tell them to go get a seat though, but for the most part, afterwards you'll be able to use it, in an extended sense. So that's what we got going on, and I'm too excited about it. I'm too excited. And it's Easter Sunday, so everybody bring out your Easter suits. Don't
Yes.
keep your Zoom camera off. I want to see how spliffy y'all gonna get. All right.
Time, it's 4 p.m. this Sunday, 4 p.m. So y'all can have time to eat, come out, drink a little something, come out in your Easter best, And like literally, like Bora said, get ready to be empowered, uplifted, and really get the confirmation that you need to use your gifts. Because like you said, even on this live, Boro, like a lot of the times it's just about that confirmation. Like you know what you need to do. You just need a little
spiritual push from time to time. I
exactly.
be needing it sometimes. We all, spirits going through a human experience, but that's why we got this going on, so we can make sure iron sharpens iron. You feel me?
All right. So let's get into the questions. So someone said, do either of you reference your chart before making certain creative decisions? So I'm gonna let you start with that, Boro.
So, the way I live my life with astrology, I like to, flow. I like to not just be, I have a real superstitious personality, so I try to be very aware about that because it could be overwhelming. But I do know how to utilize, I am very conscious and intentional about utilizing transits that are in my favor. So, if the moon is in Scorpio right now, I already know that I need to be a bit active, just dealing with my brand in general. That's my 10th house. The moon is in my 10th house right now. The moon is going to transit my 11th house. The moon is going to be in Capricorn during our master class. So, these are things that obviously, like, I'm like, okay, yep. When it comes into real significant things, all right. But in general, with creative decisions, once you guys get a chance to replay this live, you want to just go back to the segment when I was throwing out those transits that you might want to wait for. You might want to see how to align it with your schedule when it comes to certain launches, sales, any type of drops, post or whatnot. Like, I definitely mark things in my calendar at times, just because of how I'm an astrologer. So I kind of know how to follow transits in my head subconsciously. I don't really have to look at the chart. I could not look at the shit for the whole week. I'll be like, yeah, the moon should be in Capricorn by now.
Yeah.
So just having that natural flow, it'll just help me to understand how to do certain things, or at least what to pay attention for. But you never want to be too superstitious to the point every second of your day, like, okay, let me eat dinner right now. Okay, let me take a nap right now. Like, you never want to get that superstitious, but you do want to be conscious of what energies is in your favor. So or what things you might be dealing with from a friction perspective. So you always, when something happens, once again, you don't go questioning it. You don't go asking God, is that a sign? If you're asking God if it's a sign, it's a sign. All right. But that's how I go about it.
I love that. Same as you, I put like important transits in my month, like in my eye calendar. So I'd be knowing like certain dates. Okay, like I know like okay, I've been waiting for Mars to hit Aries. Like Mars is going through Pisces
So
right now. I'm like,
season.
yep, I know it's gonna start. So I'm like, perfect. April 1st, Mars into Aries, about to launch something. Things like that. No, actually not April 1st. I'm sorry, May 1st. So those type of things I definitely put in my chart, in my calendar, and I have like a couple of notes to myself towards it. So like, make sure you do this, or great day to do this. I definitely do that, and working with some of the houses that Boro said. Just certain things, like I know like whenever the moon is going over my second house and stuff like that, like I'm like, might get some little resources or just some time to self-care. It's Taurus for me. So there's always something Venus related when the moon goes through my second house. Things like that I definitely do use. In terms of creativity, I tried to brand with my 5th, 11th, and kind of like 10th houses, and I like to put those energies out there. So in terms of creative decisions, I most definitely do. I don't wait for certain seasons. I use the season and I say, what am I gonna do with this season? I don't be like, okay, I'm gonna wait for Aries season to do this. I'm like, we're in Aries season. I need to do something expressive. I need to make more confidence, like content. I need to get people fired up. Like I've been posting memes on my page for the past week and stuff like that. Like just being raunchy, just so I kind of use the energy instead of like totally waiting, because I'm a little perfectionist. And if I wait, I might, like you said, get too into the detail, which day, which hour. So I just wait for the energies, and then I'm like, I'm gonna post this. So hopefully that was helpful for y'all. Let's look at some of the other questions. How should you work with the 11th 12th house stellium in a solar return chart? I'm gonna leave that one for you, Bora.
So that is already letting you know this is going to be a super active year It's going to be a super active year when it comes into things involving your career matters, anything that you may be in the midst of when it comes into project building and branding. And you need to immerse yourself when it comes into all environments dealing with networking, interactive environments. Your friends, it don't even if it's not some shit that feel business related, your friend inviting you to a baby shower, to a wedding, get your ass to that 11th house space where you don't know nobody, and make sure you have your business cards ready. Make sure you're ready to express when people ask you, hey, what do you do for a living? Oh yeah, I'm a professional astrologer, I'm a brander, I'm an author, I got ebooks on the way, I got master classes, here's my YouTube, here's this, that, and the third. You can get a consultation. All right, make sure you're sharp with it. This is going to be a year where so much can expand for you in this space. So when you look at your solar return chart, that's letting you know that there's going to be a certain crystallized pressure in that house. So you want to prepare yourself for what you want to bring into that house, because natural influences are already going to push you to be active in that area. So you don't want to get pushed into that area dealing with things in your 10th and 11th house, and you're not really prepared. You're not really intentional with your branding. You're not really intentional. You don't You don't really know what you're going to connect or relate to people when you're in a networking interactive space. You're going to miss opportunities. You ain't got no business cards. You ain't got no website link, but you should have been made a website last year. Like, you got a 10th and 11th house energies in favor for you. So, yeah, you have a stellium there. Just know it's going to be a lot of things going on. There's a lot of opportunity to meet new people that relate to these spaces. I just recently went to a baby shower, no business though. All right. You still in the midst of your year. You feel me? But that is what you want to keep in mind. And just the fact that you have a stellium in that house, especially depending on what planets is in there, you know, you want to be in your experimentation bag. You want to be in your experimentation bag. You're cultivating a lot in that house, and you're most likely birthing and transforming a lot in that house.
All right. Someone says, what's an ideal career for Cap MC, Aquarius South Node 10th house? I don't know if you can really give an answer for that, but if anything comes to your mind, go ahead.
Well, you already have a huge Saturn presence in your 10th house, so that's already showing that you have an understanding of things dealing with infrastructure. So you'll be great dealing with management, being in management spaces in general, understanding how to work with talent around you, how to put resources together in the right way. You're just gonna have a natural inclination for that. Just having a Capricorn midheaven in most likely having Aquarius over there in the 11th house in some type of shape or form, and you got the South Node there. All right, so you already understand how the world works from an economic point of view. You may have a natural intuition for things dealing with trends going on in the world, understanding how to stabilize resources to gain reality. But you really want to see where Saturn is at. That's how you get to the meat and potatoes for what you need to make sure you're pushing out branding. Whatever house Saturn is in, I need to go on your social media page. I need to see that energy blasted. I need to see that house. I need to see it blasted all over your page.
Love that. That's a gem right there. How would Neptune in the 10th house and then Jupiter, Uranus in the 11th go about branding? I have Saturn in the first.
Okay, so Neptune, what is Neptune dealing with? Your creative spiritual awareness. Neptune shows a lot of compassion, so it's very accepting. All right, it's a very sensitive energy, so it's going to be sensitive to all things dealing with world affairs, the frequency vibration of the world in general. But Neptune has a lot to do with teaching, creative awareness, belief systems. We already look at you as a teacher. We already look at you as a teacher in some type of shape or form. You most likely have a social presence to yourself that people feel like they can confide in you and they can connect with you. Neptune deals a lot with connection, especially when it comes into the subconscious. So Neptune in the 10th house, people, whether it is a belief system, an ideology, whether it's a critical analysis, whether it's their art, whether it's spirituality, we're going to be able to feel very connected to you. And some, like, it's not going to, even if you don't feel like you're delivering your message the right way, we're going to know where the intention, where the space of what you're pushing off is coming from. So you want to push that out as much as you can, on top of getting to the ruler of that 10th house. And then you got Jupiter and Uranus in the 11th house. So now when it comes into branding, community, tribe, Jupiter, whatever you have natural awareness about, natural experience about, knowledge about, you know, whether you're going to story tell about it, whether you're going to let us know about your personal experiences and whatever sign you got Jupiter in that area. I'm assuming, let me see, you got Neptune in the 10th, Saturn in the first. I'm assuming you might be what part of the Aquarius generation, Uranus and Aquarius generation. But whatever sign you have Jupiter and Uranus at in the 11th house, you want to give your experience with it. But because Uranus in there, you have the power. Now, there's a strong placement here. You got Uranus in the 11th house. You have the power to empower others with individuality. You are a black sheep in some type of shape or form when it comes into your views on things dealing with relationship ideologies, concepts of societies in general, how the world works in different ways, the matrix. You already have a black sheep type of influence here, so you'll help other people learn how to be individuals in the world. There may be a lot of people in the world that they're not allowing the individuality to express itself, maybe because of certain constructs of projection from their family traditions, lineages, their upbringing, whatever type of environment. And when they tap into your brand, when they tap into, you know, your expression in some type of shape or form, they feel like they could break out of these barriers and let their individuality start exploring different things in the world. So whatever your Jupiter is giving knowledge and wisdom about in the 11th house, add a sprinkle of individuality in that and make sure your message is making sure people feel like they could break barriers, being able to experience certain things. You might be teaching astrology, for example, and then you might be able to, if you sprinkle the message like, guys, don't care about what your family think, and you might grow up from a Christian family, this and the third. Don't be whose spiritual journey is this? Your parents had their chance to develop their spiritual presence. Is you gonna feel caged and not explore things with your spiritual belief system when you feel like astrology is calling you? That is going to empower people to feel like, damn, I'm bugging. I should explore my individuality for the things that I'm intrigued about, this, that, and the third. So that will always help you bring community. People will look at you as a resource to depend on in that way.
Thank you for that, Jamila. That was a word. Let us know if you resonate. Newborn Rebel says, what if you have a detriment or sign in fall in your 10th house? Sign in
So
fall.
what sign would that be? That would most likely be Cancer and Leo like energies, those sun moon like energies. Because when you got sun moon like energies in the 10th 11th house, you kind of lack the influence of understanding stability. You may get too caught up in your emotions or your ego about things in career. So sometimes, you know, this is like Sharice trying to help me manage certain projects, and my ego, no, we're gonna do it this way. Like my ego's getting in the way. You can't even cooperate with me no more. You can't even get on the same page to build with me no more based on my awareness, my ego, or how emotionally self-invested I am and how I feel like things should be done. So that's something you got to be aware about. You got like Cancer, Leo energies in that area in some type of shape or form. That's
and then
something.
what if it's a planet in detriment? So like moon is very much in the 10th house, but then afterwards it's in like Scorpio, it's in fall or something like that. How would you
need to make sure that you're able to still carry out your projects and your intentions for how you want to navigate career, even if you're uncomfortable doing it. You have to, that's one of the biggest things I've seen here. When you have the moon in this house, you have to make sure that your moon is continuing to allow itself to be comfortable being uncomfortable. Like I'm gonna be honest with y'all, like this is coming from a Capricorn moon, so can't nobody really tell me this more than me, but like that's part of your life path with this placement. You got the moon in Capricorn, you got the moon in the 10th house. You got to learn how to be comfortable with things being unstable. And then when things get stable, you need to remind yourself, like, damn, you need to be able to see the stability in it. Like, damn, things is actually good right now. Like, you might still have a pessimistic feel to things. But yeah, when you got that moon in the 10th house, it's almost like, you know, we got a lot of women right now complaining, like, I don't want to work no more. Like, I need a man. Like, that's what the moon go through in the 10th house. She's like, damn, when I get to deal with some nurture and just get to just retreat, reflect, and exhale. So that's what the moon basically going through in the 10th house. So, but she needs to still be able to pace herself. She needs to still make sure she has emotional intention, what she got going on in the 10th house. And she need to make sure when there's a duty, an obligation, there's a goal and agenda on the schedule, that her emotion don't get in the way. You could get in your feelings after we take care of what we got to take care of after our 3 o'clock appointment, because you're going to be mad, moody around things dealing with career, and your moods cannot affect your business decisions here.
Shout out to you, Kathy. Kathy said planets in detriment and fall can also be a strength because growth comes through discomfort, and that's a bar right there. That's a bar right there.
Oh, just to counter, she know what she talking about. That was actually the first concept I wanted to usher in, because a lot of the times people that deal with detriments and falls, you start dealing with a certain resistance that's pushing you to match it more than somebody that might have an energy in their favor. And that's something that for a lot of y'all that's been tapped in with me, I talk about that a lot. Like some of y'all got mad trines and sextiles, and you get too comfortable with what you feel like you good in. You ain't got no resistance pushing you. And then you wait till you're back against the wall, something happens to start using your gifts. People with a lot of squares, opposition, shit, and detriment that they're, they trying to find solution from the gate, and they end up finding success quicker than people that might have had something in their favor. So great motherfucking comment.
Thank you for that, Kathy. Someone said Saturn returned in Aries in the 3rd this year. Is Saturn is not touching Aries this year? I don't think so.
No, we ain't getting into that until 2026. Y'all's bugging out.
All right, so let's we'll do our next one. So yeah, so for everyone asking, I'm gonna just wrap it up, Laura, because I want to respect your time. So what would branding look like for a 4th house cap stellium? Moon, Uranus, Neptune in there, and then Sun in Libra, and then Virgo rising. So a Virgo rising with the 4th house cap stellium, and Sun in Libra.
Now, I already spoke about, once again, the Saturn placements. You already have an influence on the infrastructure in the world, on bringing stability in the world in general, even if it's not the 10th, 11th house. So you got a fourth house cap stellium. All those planets in Capricorn in your 4th house are things you've been spiritually pushed to understand how to use Capricorn as a tool to build emotional and mental stability. This may have came from, now you got Capricorn in the 4th house, so I already know you've had to develop responsibility early in the home environment, whether one of your parents wasn't there, distant connection with the father, maybe both of your parents wasn't there, you raised by your grandparents, maybe you had to raise your siblings, maybe you had to take care of your siblings and your grandparents, maybe you had too much responsibility, you had to grow up and mature a little bit quicker due to the circumstances of your home environment. Now, the planets you have in there, Moon shows you have natural intuition, being able to come in here and handle these situations with emotional maturity, even though it might have been responsibility you should have never been dealing with at this age, but you had the emotional maturity to deal with it. You had the emotional intelligence to give your parents grace, because at a young age, you was able to understand at a young age their upbringing affected them in some type of shape or form, and you're not about to let them project on you in some type of way. And I know that's going on because you got Uranus in there too. So with Uranus in there, you become an individual with how you go about processing things with your emotional, mental well-being. You don't let people project on you here with how you feel like you're dealing with your emotions in some type of way. Shit, for anything, you the black sheep in your home environment. So you the one breaking a lot of different traditions and whatnot. Like, you might have been a little rebellious in some type of shape or form when it comes into your family tradition in some type of way. And then you got Neptune in here as well. So you got Neptune in this space. There's still a huge level of compassion and sensitivity you have towards all of those things. So even in situations you might have not even, your parents, your family members didn't deserve an apology. I mean, didn't deserve you to forgive them. You still forgave them with Neptune in this area. All right. So with all that being said, look at all that goddamn experience you have when it comes into the home environment, private matters, connection with the family, healing family lineages. From your responsibilities to all that activity, to all that projection, look at how much experience you have. You know how much people you could help spark their healing journey. You know how much people you could help understand how to approach their issues with their parents and their family members through how you've navigated it. Once again, you got the moon here. So I know from your past lives, you already dealt with bringing healing influences to your family environment. You probably are in the midst of healing one of your parents, helping them deal with, understanding how they could heal from how their parents, they had to birth you to spark that journey, so that's something that you need to make sure you always throw in your brain. And then, oh my God, and you're a Sun in Libra. So you have such a relatable way of, you know how to give Oh my God, you have such a relatable way of connecting it to others. People want to connect with you in a one-on-one environment. It starts to feel like such a counseling like environment with you. You know, Sun and Libras, man, all you got to do, man, you got to push out that sense of relatability. And all right,
And
so
to
that
this person too, just to what Bora was saying earlier, if we have that cap stellium in the fourth, the opposite of that, the 10th house would probably fall in Cancer, and then 10th house ruler is in that stellium, right? So
look at
that's how.
Sharice. Can I get a reading, Sharice? No, Sharice, can I get a reading though?
I will actually tell y'all something at the end, but I'm just saying though, I'm just saying with that Cancer in the 10th house, and then the moon here, I'll definitely brand with that. That's big nurture energy. Boro saying like all the shit that you went through, you can now help people heal. The moon, Cancer in the 10th is big healer energy, big nurturer energy. So very interesting. I agree with everything you said, Boro. Just basically everything he said. Now, how can I put this out into the world to now do this for other people is like spot
No,
on.
you just put
Um,
the icing on the cake, Sharice. You
mhm.
just put the icing on the cake. Look at the ruler connection right there. So I'm happy you asked that question.
Thank you for that. Then last person that we're gonna do, then we're gonna head off. What can I do with the moon? What can I do with Moon, Mars, and Chiron in Libra in the fifth house? How can I use this for creative energy?
Okay, so for one, is okay. It's all in Libra. So you got Libra here, things dealing with fashion, different, creative aesthetics, dealing with fashion, things dealing with, interactive affairs, collabs within your creative space, like you working with other people, doing collaborations with other people, air in the fifth house, air and fire houses. That goes a long way, being able to generate and share ideas and manifest a mastermind so you could brainstorm on how you creatively express yourself as a group. That's big there. But that Venus energy is in your fifth house. So anything dealing with enhancement, with beauty, anything dealing with beauty enhancement in a creative space, you doing your makeup TikTok tutorials, you guys, this is my skincare routine. Okay, this is how you do French braids. If you inclined or experience with anything dealing with beauty, that needs to be pushed out in your fifth house. But I know you are to an extent because you are a moon in Libra in the fifth house. So not only do you want to connect, you want to look good doing it because you always attracting situations being on the stage, being a moon in the fifth house person. So subconsciously, you got Venus here. You want to make sure you always prepared to look good when you're on the stage. So I know in some type of shape or form, whether it's fashion, skincare, Libra skin, things dealing with your hair, beauty, your makeup, all of that, cosmetology, I know it's somewhere in there. And then you got Mars in there. So you're passionate about these things. You're goal-oriented and intentional about these things. The thing is, you got Chiron here. So every time you try to connect and relate these things to others, you get 2 out of 10 people that project on, why are you picking that color for your makeup? Why are you doing your hair like that though? Like, bitch, don't do your hair like this then. The other 8 people is filling the French braids. All right, they fill in the French tips. That's what y'all call them, ladies. I like them things. When you put them white things on the nails, I like them things. All right. So, Chiron here, people will project on your creative expression to the point, or you might have manifested an embarrassing moment with your creative expression at some point in your life, and that created a psychological issue to the point you're like, nah, I can't teach people about beauty. I can't teach people about. I can't put my awareness about a relationship experience on the stage, or why would I even join this creative group that has potential to manifest a lot of opportunities with creative energies in general? What can I add and bring to the group? Like that last time that I failed, that's what you got to learn to overcome with Chiron in the fifth house. And then and then remember, Chiron is in Libra, so there's going to be little issues you have dealing with misunderstandings with communication relatability. That shouldn't stop you from building different new colleagues, being in interactive spaces. Make the mistakes, so what? You still got a lot of power here. All right.
I love that. That was really good. Something about Chiron and Libra too. You were just saying, Boro, to put their experience out there. So Chiron and Libra as well. I see that sometimes having a little problem even within relationships. So if you're a girl, like even putting out, like expressing shit that you went through, relating with others and your relationships now can like help you with your audience as well. Because I see this as, if you have Libra in the fifth, you have Aries in the, possibly Aries in the 11th. And yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
could put out some of your relationship experience, the hurt, the wounds that you went through as well. Like fifth house is also like heart and vulnerability. So I see
Mm-hmm.
that as well, like putting out this vulnerable shit. And you can maybe attract your tribe to you, for sure. But I love what you say. I like this word. I think, I don't know, y'all tell me, but I feel like we need a masterclass just on
Now,
this. Like
Sharice, I ain't gonna lie. Your astrology game you've been wilding lately. Like, nah, you might have to. Oh no, you might have to start getting in your bag.
it's
Like,
it's because I'm surrounded by grace. So I gotta pick up something. I gotta pick
right,
up something.
right. You are a Sag. You gonna learn about
Yeah.
everything.
But I did want to tell the people, I always want to showcase my artists when we do these lives. But I do want to tell the people though that I do have a find your money making niche service. If you guys are interested in it, you can find the link in my bio. And I love using astrology with it. I go into the placements that we talk about today, 5th, 11th, and 10th. I've used it in my own chart, and I've used it with a couple people that I work with right now, and they've seen it. They've seen the influences that these houses, especially the creative houses, 2nd, 5th, 11th, and 12th, like Boro said, how we can use it in a brand. I love, like I'm so passionate about this, and this year I want to go so deep into that. So if you guys want that, like definitely book one of those, and we'll find your niche and everything like that based on not just astrology. We'll use astrology, but based on what you want to bring forth as well. So just a minor plug, but
Y'all better tap
I
in,
do.
man. Sharice a money magnet. Y'all better tap in. She know what she talking about.
So I do want to say, Boro, thank you so much. I think we're almost edging to 2 hours now. Thank you so much for this live. Everybody, y'all need to tap into this masterclass. If y'all want another masterclass, tap into this masterclass. And like Boro said, this information is not a one-time thing. You guys get to leave with the recording. You get to leave with the slides and stuff like that, and you can download it in your phone, and like whenever you need that, oh, what's my gifts again, what's my potential, whatever, you just put it in your ear, and you just listen to that shit and get that like invigoration. You know what I mean? Like I don't get people who go to something for one time and they pay money and they just use it that one time. Like no, y'all gotta be checking back in that shit and making sure, oh, what did Boro say that for that first house transit? Let me go listen and then find it and then use that shit. So I'm very excited for this week's masterclass. I know you're gonna give people. I from the moment that you came up with the idea, I was like, the people need this. Find your potential, find your gifts, find your talents, and Laura's also showing you how to freaking use that shit so that you can manifest the life y'all want, man. Like it's so freaking possible right now. So
Yes, it is. As this is
yeah,
this like Sharice just said, this is a pivotal time birthing new things, guys. It's a pivotal
yeah.
time birthing new things. Even if you don't come to the class, guys, I want everybody to remain intentional about what you're birthing in your life. But obviously, this class is to help empower you and navigate you, direct you, well, how to go about doing these things. All right. So I'm looking forward to it. Me and Sharice can't wait to see y'all there.
All right. So thank you, Boro. Everybody who's tapped in too. I know you did a live last night, tapping more into the energies of fame. So y'all can check into that too if you guys want a more in-depth breakdown of some of the artists that we talked about today. So thank you, Boro. I will see everybody here soon next Thursday for our next Astro Thursday, and I will see y'all this Sunday with the pastor on Easter Sunday, y'all.
All right,
This
y'all. Thank you for having me, Sharice.
yes, this live will be saved. And if you can attend, someone said they can attend, you can purchase, and you can purchase it. It'll be sent to you right after. So yeah, you could still very much get a ticket and you'll get the replay after. Okay.
All right, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Peace.
Peace.
All right.